Heather, there's animals all around me. And I'm like, I can't see a damn thing, but awesome, that's awesome. I just could see him and beauty behind him. I saw sunshine. I knew God was in that sunshine. But before he left, because he said, I gotta go, Heather. I'm okay. I gotta go. But before he left, he said, God is real. I said, I know. And he knows that too now. And I started thinking if he is here. He's with us today. He's with us. He's around us. He sees all of us. He's very thankful and glad that we're honoring him. But if he could speak right now, I believe that he would say to all of us to enjoy each day that we have, because we are not promised tomorrow. None of us are. And enjoy, embrace life. And yeah, shit happens. Trouble comes. But there will be a rainbow at the end of it. And we got to trust him. And we got to hold on to him. And we got to know that he is real. And he will get us through. And we got to love people. That's the biggest and the thing of it all. We have to love unconditionally. And that's what I want to say.
Is there another?
Everyone else has made it look so easy coming up here. You know, I've dealt with death a certain way my whole life, but this was different. Like, I'm probably just sounding like I'm rambling already, but Mama, I love you. Jess, I love you. Y'all have heard the saying, brother from another mother.
Yes.
Well, John's the first I could ever apply that to. He made you feel accepted, no matter what. I've always been back and forth, my dad and my mom in Dallas, my dad mostly here in Houston. I moved here when I was 13 to live with my dad. John lived right across the street. Pretty sure it was a birthday party, and mom invited me, and it just took off from there. High school, you know, a little bit of middle school. We did everything together. Like Sean and Matt said, you know, a lot of our stories aren't really appropriate, but they were good times. And I don't know, felt like I had to come up here and say that, you know, I love you, John. I'm not gonna forget you. And that's it, guys.
So if you don't know me, I'm Rebecca. I'm one of the younger cousins, and John taught me this really cool trick. One time he was smoking cigarettes, and he showed me where you take like the butt and you stick it through a piece of plastic, and it looks like a smoke waterfall. And I don't know if he showed any of you, but he taught me how to do that, and I show as many people as I can because I think it's one of the coolest things ever, and I just kind of wanted to share that. And if anybody has a pack of smokes with a plastic on it, I could probably show you how to do it. So that's my memory.
Hello, I'm Thomas, Tyler's father. John and Jessica stuck in a good part of my life for a long time. John was like his son. I'm very grateful to be somebody he looked up to as a father figure when he was growing up. I'm very grateful to be part of his life. I'm gonna miss him dearly. I love you, John. Fly high, my son.
I'm Ashley. I am Rebecca's sister, her older sister. I don't have any particular memories of John when he was older, but I always knew that he was playful, and I went to school with him for a little while when we were homeschooled, and he would always come to birthday parties whenever we would throw parties, and he would just always have the best time. And I wish that I knew him more as an adult. I wish I was able to talk to him more. I wish that I could have done something more. But like Heather said, he is in a better place. And one day we're all going to see him again, and we're all going to be happy again. And that's all that I have to say, but I do miss John. And thank you all for being here, for Stephanie, and for Steph, and for Jessica, and for Heather, and for all of us. And thank you.
I'm sorry. I've been trying so hard not to cry, to be strong for my beautiful family. God brought me into this family 7 years ago. I was able to meet Stephanie and through Heather and Jackie. And John and Jessica. And I remember one time John was having a real difficult time, and Stephanie and I got in the car and went to look for him. I'm sorry. And he jumped on the car, about scared us half to death. And he goes, "You don't need to worry about me, I'm gonna fly." And I could just see him, and he was trying so hard to fly. And of course we were scared to death, but he was trying to fly. And now he is flying. And I love y'all so much, and it's an honor to be here and to see all of the love in this room for someone so special. He struggled. We all have struggles. We struggle so hard with things in our lives. A lot of us hide things from people because we don't want them to see. We want everybody to think that we're normal and everything's okay. And when it's not okay, you've got to find somebody. You've got to find someone that you can talk to, someone that you can go to. There's someone that loves each and every person in this room. His name is Jesus. And if you can't find nobody else to talk to, you may not believe in him. But I want to challenge you. If you don't believe in him, give him a chance. Dare him. Dare him to show up in your life and prove that he's real. Because I promise you, he will, as somebody told me one time, he will knock your socks off. Because he has knocked my socks off more than once. I've been out on the street. I've been homeless. I ran from place to place at one point in my life. But he carried me every step of the way. I never went hungry. I might have slept in my car a few times, but I was never hungry. And I was always able to meet every bill that I had, even though I was living in my car. He carried me every step of the way. And now he's blessed me with a wonderful man, a wonderful husband. And I couldn't be any more happier than in the last half of my life. And I just want to challenge each and every one of you to live your best life. As an honor to John, do it for him and make something special of the remaining time that you have on with your life here on earth. Because as they said, we never know. I had another friend that just dropped dead of a heart attack. She had just gone for a checkup 2 weeks ago and everything was great. I mean, everything was great, and she just dropped dead of a heart attack. We never know. So I want to challenge each and every one of you to live your best life now. God bless you.
My name is Michael. For those of you who don't know me, hello. I'm sorry for your loss. For everybody who does know me, I got a fun little story about John, though. Or it was peaceful for me. We were out doing things we probably shouldn't have been doing, you know, goofing off, messing around. And he told me, he was like, "Hey man, let's go for a walk." But when he said walk, he really meant skateboard. He had a skateboard, I didn't have a skateboard. So when he said walk, he just starts going off. And I'm just sitting there looking at him. And man, what are you doing? He's like, "We're going for a walk." I said, "No, you're going for a walk. I'm just sitting there," or "You're going for a ride. I'm sitting there going for a walk." He's like, "Man, just follow me, man, just follow me." So I'm sitting here just, all right, man, whatever, I'm doing it. Again, we were doing things, I don't know. Let's just say the world looked very nice at the point in time when I'm taking this walk. So when he's riding off, He's zoomed way out. I'm walking behind him. I'm just looking around. Everything seems so peaceful. And we stopped. By the time I knew it, we were at this park. I couldn't tell you what conversation we had, what directly we talked about. Just remember, he kept looking at the moon. Just kept going by, skating this way, skating that way, and he looked at the moon. And he said, "Man, the moon is beautiful." So I was like, yeah, it sure is. Okay, I didn't pay no mind to it. He's like, "No, you don't understand. The moon is beautiful." So what do you mean? He goes, "Write on this board." So I did. I wrote on the board. I'm riding around. Mind you, I don't skateboard. I don't know how to skateboard. Didn't know how to do any of that. So he goes, "Man, now do a jump and look at the moon." Me not thinking nothing, did a little jump, looked at the moon, boom, busted my butt. I'm sitting there laid out, just, oh my God. He goes, looks down at me, just popped up at the floor, says, "Now look at the moon." And man, I'll tell you what, I looked at that moon and I've never seen it the same again. That was a beautiful moon that night, man. And I always remember that moment of just how nice that moon was laying on my back, and he just sat there and just look at the moon. Thank you guys.
To us, his mother, Miss Slattery King.
Or as some also know me as Mama King. So Shane played a song for me, I don't know, I guess it's been about a year ago or whatever. And immediately I thought of a lot of his. But it's, "I know God smokes weed and he was high when he made me." And I learned the words. We know John smoked weed, he did. We know John was wild and free, and he lived his life. And he absolutely loved everyone. The heart of gold. I told him, I said, "Johnathan, you have a heart of gold, and you're so handsome." And he said, "Mom, look at my unibrow." No, John, you don't have a unibrow. Look, Mom. I said, "Jessica knows how to take care of that." So, Johnathan, he touched everybody in so many special ways, because he would do anything for you, wouldn't he? Anything. And you all know that I can talk, and as Heather says, don't give me the breadcrumbs, give me the whole loaf. Well, I can give you 4 or 5. So I promise I'm not going to do that to you right now. But I want to say something funny about these kids. All these kids growing up with all the pictures of everybody in the little house. The second storage house on the property. Who all knows the little house? The stories of the little house. That's right. When the kids were growing up, I couldn't find Johnathan. And I think it was, I think it was you, Tyler, and I've been trying, it was one of y'all. And I was like, where are they? And they were smoking weed on the roof of the little house. I'm like, what are you doing? We're looking at the moon. We're looking at the moon. And they were also looking for the aliens. I said, come down from there. They didn't. They didn't listen to me. They did whatever they wanted. So something really funny about John, and they were growing up too, he said, Mom, I have a lot of friends. And I said, I know, John. He said, yeah. You know what they all tell me, Mom? I told them I'd tell on you. What do they all tell me? When you want to know what they tell me, Mom? I said, yeah. They tell me that they know I've got angels around me and they want to hang out with me because we never get caught. Put your hands up if you know what he's talking about. So, That's when I bought a pool table and put it under the carport. So everybody would come to the house. And I could keep my eye on it. Right? Dana will tell you a story about everybody hanging out under the carport and listening to their heavy metal and all their music, and I, would go out and see. I had my eyes on y'all the whole time. Love you all the way through the whole thing. All of it was there for you when you needed somebody. Love all of y'all so much, and I thank you so much for being in John's life, and being there for him and all that you did for him too, being a big brother to him. It's not going to be the same without him here. It's not. It's not. And Crazy Jason too. Crazy Jason even let him come and live with him for a while. His little brother, It's not going to be the same without him here, but I can feel him. And I know that he's not going to leave us, He's really not. When we pass on, we all have a soul. We all have a spirit, and it doesn't die. It just transforms to another form. And everybody has different belief systems, We believe in Jesus. We believe in the Lord. We believe in God. We believe in a heavenly place where we're going. And I don't know what people believe in, but one thing I know for sure is that if you really take a step back and you look at your life, in your past and all the things you experienced in your life, you're still here for a reason. You had some kind of covering over you. And yeah, John, he did have angels around him. And y'all did get by with a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff, I know. Johnathan and Jessica, when they were born, they were little children. They were conceived on Lake Michigan on a pontoon boat. And I had never seen shooting stars in my life. And right afterwards, here comes one shooting star, and I went, oh my God, did you see that? And then here came another one. And I was like, oh my God. I just received it. I received it in my heart. I felt like that was a special gift. Even if it was just seeing it, that was enough, that it was a special gift to see that. It's so beautiful there. Well, the next day I told Wayne, I said, I'm pregnant. He said, are you sure? And I said, yep, then it's twins too. And he said, well, I guess you would be the one to know, considering I had 9 miscarriages before I had the twins. And so I worked in the medical center, and I went then to the doctor the next week. I went to the doctor, one of the doctors I worked for, and I said, Dr. Fernandez, will you please do a blood test for me? He said, sure, what? And I told him, and he laughed, and he ordered the blood test, and sure enough, it came back positive. And so I went to see my doctor, and I said, I'm pregnant again, and it's twins. And he said, what makes you so sure? I said, I just know, and not only that, it's a boy and a girl. Wow. And didn't I tell all of you that before anybody could even confirm it? Because I knew that God gave them to me, and I knew they were my shooting stars. And that's why, the shooting star song is John's song too, and Jessica. So they're still my shooting stars. They're my earth angels. One's here and one's there. And Jessica said the other day one of the coolest things she felt like about herself is that she could say she was a twin. She had a twin. I said, you still do. He's just in a different place right now. And we know that we're going to see him again. Well, the other thing, because I can really go on and on with the story, and the fun thing about all of that is that it's all true. And maybe one day I'll be able to sit down with you and hold your hand and tell you all of it, So for right now, I want to tell you one more thing. And that is my beautiful children, all of them. I think it's kind of bizarre, and I just have to share this with you. That Heather, I named her after a soap opera, a girl on a soap opera named Heather. And her personality was real bubbly and happy and cheerful and fun and sweet and all this. And I thought, that's what I'm going to name my daughter. I never watched soap operas, but I happened to be living with my grandmother and my great aunt, and we were drinking coffee all day and watching soap operas, and I'm like, damn. So I picked her name from a soap opera. Shane, his name came from a cowboy movie. The movie is named Shane. Now Shane, have anybody ever seen cowboy boots on him? Or a cowboy hat? You cannot pay him, can they, Dana, to put on a pair of cowboy boots or a hat. But guess what? His personality is just like that man in that show. He's so kind, and he's like a protector, and he's there, and he's helping me, and he's watching out for me, and he's trying to take my driver's license away from me. He's been doing the driving Miss Daisy. And then the funny thing about that is that now I get to complain about his driving. It's true. But Shane, he's just like that personality. Jessica, where are you? Jessica, her name came from the man from Snowy River. You have to watch these old 80s shows because they're coming back around on Netflix, all of them. And the one from Shane was way back like the 60s or something. But Jessica, I named her after this spirited girl that had dark hair and striking blue eyes, sweet and tough at the same time. How many know Jessica? And Heather and Shane. Their personalities. I mean, that's kind of weird in a way, isn't it? I'm going to leave you all with this. I named Johnathan after the Johnathan on Highway to Heaven. The angel that went to minister to people in the 1980s movie that was real popular. It's on Netflix right now. And that's where I got his name from. Who would know, that he would be our angel today? And there's a scripture, and I have it over there in my Bible, but I don't remember the scripture number, but it says, it's in Hebrews 13, 1 or 2. And it says, be kind and be courteous, because in being so, you may be entertaining angels unaware. And I think when we need Johnathan the most, and when we need the Lord the most, they're going to show up. They're going to show up. And they're going to be here. And I hold that. I will never stop missing him. I will never stop loving him. And he needs to stop scaring me in my bedroom too, because he's knocked my glasses off of my laptop a couple of times, and he's making the Alexa in the room play when we're not asking it to do anything. And some people say that that's a thing on the Google, you can look it up, because it's happening, but the timing of it is just really weird. So I'm like, hey, John, thank you for checking in on me. I love you all. Thank you so much for being here. And you all please stick together and help each other, because I can't do this alone. Neither can you. We can't do this alone, because it's such an impact on our lives, that he's gone. He's not really. Just know that in your heart. And love each other, because that's one thing. If you know our family, and you do, those of you who don't, I hope you will. and we get to know you more. And that is, we love everybody. In spite of all of our faults, people love us too. And that's what we live by. That's our code of ethics, is about the love. That's what he was about too. So thank you. I love you. I love you all.
Let's give it up for Stephanie one more time. So you all have made my job very, 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 very easy, because you've all pretty much said it all. I've been over here trying to fight back the emotions, because you can see the genuineness of each and every testimony that was stated about Johnathan. You can see the true love of each and every person that spoke about Johnathan. You can see the impact that he had on each and everyone's lives that are in this room. And that's major, because we know for a fact that we're here only for a short time.
Oh, I forgot something. Okay.
I'll let you forget.
Loaf of bread number 2.
So, I'm sorry. Trying to do the closing statement, I gotta jump right in, right? So, 2 weeks before Johnathan passed away, we did FaceTime. I learned how to do FaceTime. I stepped up to the 21st century. And he said, Mama, sing me the frog song. And I said, what frog song? He said, you know the frog song. And I said, I know a bunch of them. He said, me too. And I said, I'll do it if you do it. You know I want you to do it. And I said, wait, we got to get the props. So I set the phone up on the dashboard. I got the rubber frogs I have on my dashboard. Emily, right? You've seen my rubber frogs on my dashboard. And we were singing the frog song. And we were laughing. And we laughed our butts off. We were laughing until we cried. And he said, Mama, you're an OG. Does anybody in the room know what an OG is? So I said, I'm a what? Of course, I know this already because he's been calling me an OG a long time. Jessica told me there was a friend that called him OG Willow. That was his nickname, OG Willow. I said, Mom, you're an OG. I said, are you calling me an old geezer again? He said, no, Mom, you know what it means. I said, Junk Deuce Johnny. That's it.
Let's hold it up for Stephanie once again. All right, I won't be in front of you too long. Like I said, you all have said everything possible that we can say about Johnathan, but I just wanted to tie it in and kind of just reflect on what I've heard in this time. And so, drop my souvenir. And so I'm going to come from Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter. And some of you all might be familiar with this verse. And I promise I won't be before you too long, but I do believe that Johnathan will want this word to go out. And so chapter 3 reads, to everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance. And I'll leave it there. That was Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, the 1st through the 4th verse. So with that being said, oftentimes when we think about our faith, when we think about this journey, when we think about this walk, oftentimes we think that we have to be in a perfect place in order to come to God. And so I wanted to just take a moment and just take a second to get you all to understand just one thing. This is a short journey down here, and our life is eternal. There's either one or two places that you're going to spend eternal life. And most people think that, well, I have to be in this holier than thou state. I have to be that type of person that's in church every single day. I have to be out there. I have to be perfect before I find this God. But what I'm letting you know today is that it's not that hard. It's not that complex. See, the Lord has been calling you. The Lord wants you here on this day. See, Johnathan got us all gathered in this room on this ordained time, in this ordained place, and he understands that the life that he lived to some people might not seem perfect, but we have to understand there's not one person in this room that's perfect. I've been ministering the gospel for 14 years now, and I guarantee in those 14 years it's been a long from perfect. It's been a hard struggle. It's been things that you have to go through. I'm a military vet, so I deal with the same PTSD and anxiety and depression as others feel, and it's just brought me closer to my faith. And so we have to understand that in these times where we're mourning, in these times where we're missing our loved ones, in these times where we seem confused, in these times where we don't quite understand why things happen, that there is an answer to all of those questions. And the answer to that question is Jesus. See, oftentimes we think about Jesus as being some fictitious character such as Santa Claus or such as the Easter Bunny, but you have to understand that there's a bigger power, there's a bigger glory that we're seeking for. Jonathan's heart was always there. His mom would tell me about how the kids would always be underneath the driveway and the pool table. She would sit there at the job for 15, 20-minute breaks and say, here, let me tell you about my kids, and let me tell you about my son, Johnathan. And it's that same spirit that Johnathan had that has all of us in this room right now. Some that are ready to cry, some that are ready to laugh, some that are smiling, some that can recall, some that can relate. It's one story being told over here, but over here someone else can relate to that same story. It's the genuineness that he had. And so today he wanted to share with you that there's also a genuine spirit, and that is the spirit of the Holy Spirit. So how do we receive the Holy Spirit? It goes down with your beliefs. First and foremost, we have to understand that God is real. He knows everything. He controls all circumstances and situations. The second thing that we have to understand is that we were given a Savior. Therefore, you don't have to wait to become perfect. Oftentimes in our mindsets, we say, well, I'm doing certain things, or I have certain strongholds, or I'm feeling, I just don't feel like I'm holy enough to just be with God. And I'm letting you know that it's backwards. You'll never become holy enough to just become to Christ. Christ wants you as you are right now. And so we have to understand, in order to fight off some of these strongholds that we have, in order for us to live a righteous life, or at least try to live a better life than what we've been living, then you have to have the gift of the Holy Spirit. And in order for you to have the gift of the Holy Spirit, that is something that is given freely from God. It's a gift. And how do you receive that gift?